Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the previous two videos, I had shared about how far sociology is a safe optional, what is the percentage of selection annually. Then I also shared with all of you related to the selected candidates, how much they can score, what role sociology plays, how it is easy to get more than 60% marks. I also shared the All India second rank holder Animesh Pradhan's mark sheet. You can just have a look in the previous video. In this video, we are going to discuss about the relevance of sociology in your overall selection. How it is going to play a very critical role, a very crucial role in your overall preparation related to, like we can say, essay, general studies, and we can also see the component pertaining to interview. Right? All right. So when we are talking about essay, how it is helpful to have sociology as an optional. You all are aware that essay is 215 marks paper. It is competent to one full GS paper or one full optional paper. 250 marks at stake. 2 essays to be written. I'll show you 2 topics from 2023 mains essay paper so that you have an idea that how taking sociology will give you a lot of content to write. Because I believe all of you are aware that you have to write 1000 to 1200 words essay. And when we say 1000 to 1200 words essay, and when we try to measure it in terms of pages, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, sides of pages, because in one page, all of you are aware of cutting down the 4 borders, it is unruled. So the way a student writes generally, like with my experience, I would say that I have seen students writing about 60 to 70 words in a page, in such a page. Average size handwriting. You write small, you can fit in more. You're writing bigger, you may fit in 50 words. Whatever is your truth. But on an average, going by 70 words per page, if I talk about the number of sides a student is using for completing a 1000 to 1200 word essay, is about 15 to 18 pages. 15 to 18 pages means sides of page. Okay, 15 to 18 pages. For GS, 150 words. 150 words, 2 sides of a page. For, like, let us say if a student is writing a GS long question, 15 marker question, then it is 250 words, which is 3.5 pages. So student who is habituated to write 4 GS papers in 150 to 250, that is 2 pages to 4 pages, suddenly gets exposed to writing an essay with almost 15 to 18 pages worthy content. Optional subject actually provides a lot of fodder, a lot of, I would say, raw material, a lot of food for thought, critical reflection, multiple dimensions, rational reflections, which can be added to the content. So here, when I talk about sociology as an optional, we have under the topic of social stratification, the component of gender. And gender, it does not only mean the pathos and challenges of women. Nowadays, we are also open to have a very, I would say, a positive attitude towards the idea of the gender discrimination, whereby not only exploitation of women, but also LGBTQ, but also of women, also of men, also of young boys is incorporated. In how many ways? What are the possibilities? What are the challenges? What are the interventions that have been taken up? And how in public debate also we are incorporating all these patterns of exploitation is also taught. How this topic is going to facilitate. Just have a look. This topic is getting reflected in this topic of essay which has been asked. Girls are weighed down by restrictions, boys with demands, 2 equally harmful principles. Simultaneously, you can see this topic that is associated with education. Yes, other than gender, another hotcake topic is education. Education is taught in Sociology paper 1, last topic, social change, where you have the topic of education as a tool for social change. And in Sociology paper 2, you have illiteracy and disparities in education. 2 places, paper 1 and paper 2. And just have a look how the content that you study from international and national perspective with respect to education, it gives you a lot of fodder for a topic like this. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. So there have been 2 topics. With respect to explanation of these topics, if you're curious, then a separate video can be created with respect to explaining the previous year questions which have been asked in essay. Okay, briefly speaking, if we talk about it, so education is the subliminal realization that is a part of your thoughts which stays with you after you have stepped out of the classroom, and it has molded your personality or thought. For example, if I have taught you a topic associated with caste system, associated with gender, associated with education, okay, and when you're stepping into the society and when you're meeting people, the kind of behavior you possess, the kind of action that you perform as a bureaucrat or as a citizen, it has a direct bearing upon how your parents have nurtured, how your teachers have taught, and in the journey of teaching, who has created an impression upon your personality in what manner. So, when we talk about what kind of impact is generated with respect to a student's personality, we all can see that education plays a very vital role or a very critical role. So you won't be claiming that, oh, ma'am had taught me in this and this class this specific topic. But yes, when you are walking ahead and when you are speaking your mind out, and all those people who have nurtured you, not just I, but all those people, books, movies, we can say all formal and informal sources that have nurtured you are basically the tools that have educated you. And that is what reflects that who you have become. Okay, so that's what it is saying. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learnt in the school. Because we don't quote, oh, my ma'am taught me this topic. The ideas I have about communalism and secularism is something which my teacher taught me. We don't say that. We have an opinion, we exercise it. So rather than quoting the school, quoting the teacher, here it's not literally school, any institution of learning is what the word school implies. Okay, so anyway, the details of it is something which shall get explored further when you are unfolding this discipline with respect to the optional subject. Further, with respect to essay, I have explained when we are talking about the GS papers, the 4 GS papers. Interestingly, in 2023, from GS paper 1, there was a surprise element. Out of 250 marks question, about 110 marks question was associated with Indian society. Yes, geography, India and world, history, India and world, then you have art and culture and Indian society. 4 papers in your GS paper 1. And can you beat it? Out of the 4 papers, Indian society took the lead. It had 110 marks question. Now, to prove the same, I can encourage you to watch a previous video. We had made it when the mains exam was conducted. So, just after the mains exam, I had made a detailed video associated with Indian society. What are the questions that have been asked and what can be the potential answer associated with the questions. So, I had given the answer also. I have explained it in greater detail on the board. Okay, so if you're curious to know the answers to those questions and what those questions are, then you can just watch that previous video as well. So in GS paper 1, but I would say that 110 marks was a rare phenomena. In general, 70 to 80 marks question is asked associated with the component of Indian society. And sociology directly aids you because Indian society, all the topics are associated with the concerns of sociology paper 2. Simultaneously, in GS paper 2, topics which are associated with polity and governance, not every topic, but quite a number of them, whether it is issues related to secularism, whether it is component related to civil society, pressure groups, political party, idea of nation, all this gets covered under the topic politics and society. Okay, there is a previous video that I have made related to NOTA, which is of current relevance. You can watch that. It was because of the highest number of NOTA voting from Indore, and that was 2 lakh plus. So I was curious and I made a video. You can watch that as well. So when I'm talking about the concerns pertaining to like national or international politics, that is also getting covered under politics and society. With respect to IR, there is a very interesting theory, that is dependency theory, which is related to the third world countries, how they get exploited by the quote-unquote banana republic or the first world countries, how they start dominating and influencing the internal policies, the economics, the we can say resources, the tools, even the research and innovation of these countries. So that's very much relevant to IR, and that gets covered under the topic of development and dependency, which is taught in sociology, paper 1, social change. Along with that, when we are talking about it, we can also see topics of social justice pertaining to poverty, hunger, human resource, all of it gets reflected in sociology paper 2. So it is immensely helpful for the content development related to paper 2 as well. Again, in GS paper 3, if I talk about it, you have topics related to poverty and unemployment. You have the component of human development indicator in economics. You also have the component of agriculture. If you see sociology paper 2, there are topics of rural agrarian social structure, rural agrarian transformation. In rural agrarian transformation, we try to reflect upon the humane side of agriculture with respect to means of production and forces of production and how the change is happening. We learn about land reforms, we learn about green revolution, evergreen revolution, and all the interventions which are associated with agriculture and how it is impacting the rural India, the rural society. Okay, so in GS paper 3, you can find it getting connected to economics. In internal security, the topic of Naxalism is covered under the sociology paper 2 topic social movements. Okay, Naxalism is taught in great detail along with various other social movements. Truth is, the topic of social movements, it provides a lot of content and preparation associated with pre-independence and post-independence history when we are talking about social movements. Okay, along with that, GS paper 4 ethics, when we talk about inculcation of values by family, educational institutions and society. So that specific topic gets completely covered by sociology. Not just that, in general, knowing the society gives you a better understanding about its culture, its norms, its beliefs, its values, and it equips you better to also solve the case studies. So that's the relevance of sociology when we are talking about the component of GS, all the 4 papers. Last but not the least, when we are talking about interview, we can also see that to make the conversation in the interview more purposive, more meaningful, more engaging, it has been witnessed that in the component of interview, the board members, they generally start with a topic of current relevance related to social concern that is unfolding, to get an opinion of the aspirant, to see how connected the aspirant is, how the aspirant is a potential people's leader who understands the pulse of the society, who understands the challenges that people are undergoing, how compassionate, sensitive, updated the person is, how the person constantly thinks about what kind of reforms can be brought about with respect to the tools and the efforts that the system can make, and also how to engage people in the process of development and participation. So all that gets tested, and all these basic insights are built when you are studying the discipline of sociology and the various chapters associated with it. That sensitivity, that insight is built chapter after chapter when we are talking about the component related to the society. Because sociology is a scientific study of society. It nurtures, it strengthens, it gives you a lot of food for thought associated with understanding in which society we are living, what are the potential dilemmas, challenges that people are suffering from, where were we and how far have we come. So all of it shall be covered in sociology. I'm looking forward to your presence, and also because you have watched such a long video associated with its relevance related to the various components in your mains preparation as well as interview. So I am quite I would say positive that you would be finding this discipline quite relevant in your preparation, quite applied, and most importantly, nurturing you as a human being, making you an amazing human being and a citizen who will be productive for the society, who will be engaging more meaningfully, and will be taking another stride towards maturity, towards growing better and stronger, right? So in the next video, we will be discussing about the types of questions that are asked in sociology, how they are relevant even from GS perspective, how they are curiosity driven, See, you might not be knowing the answers to those questions, but I want you to watch that video so that you just check whether you are curious to know the answers or not. If you're curious, okay, if you are curious and you're feeling that, oh yes, this is the content that I really want to learn about, this is something which is going to make me more matured and polished as a person, I really want to learn about it, then sociology as a discipline will be helping you formally with formal tools, with formal research methods, different types of thinkers contributing to the same. Thank you.